And we're ready.
Thank you. Welcome to the regular meeting of Hamilton City Council for October 22nd, 2025. Here at 602 in City Council Chambers at 345 High Street in Hamilton. We do have two public hearings this evening, one being home program funds, and the second public hearing is community development block grant funds, both funds from a federal source. Roll call, please.
Moeller.
Present.
Pullman.
Present.
Fear.
Present.
Vaughn.
Present.
Ryan.
Present.
Nab.
Present.
Lauer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
We're going to start off with offering a prayer by Councilmember Joel Lauer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today humbled and grateful for the gift of community and the responsibility of our leadership. We thank you for our great city, for its people, its history, and the spirit of the resilience that binds us together. Grant us as leaders the wisdom to listen more than we speak, to seek unity over pride, and to act with compassion and courage. Help us to make decisions that lift up the weak, protect the vulnerable, and honor the dignity of every person. Bless our first responders, our teachers, our workers, and every citizen who strives daily to make Hamilton and our nation a better place.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the agenda are special presentations, well as verbal reports. So if you want to start, lead us with that, Mr. City Clerk. What's first and what's second?
Okay, absolutely. Our first presentation will be a charter amendment update by Executive Director of Strategy and Personnel, Mr. Brandon Sarver.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
As you know, Issue 2, dealing with updates to the city's charter, will go before voters here in a couple of weeks. I presented to you all on this last month, but at that time, we did not yet have the ballot language from the Board of Elections. We've since received that, so I've returned to give you a little bit of an update. There we go. All right, so first a little bit of a review. So what is the charter? The charter is really sort of our foundational document at the City of Hamilton. It could be considered kind of a parallel to the Constitution of the State of Ohio or the Constitution of the United States. Really establishes the framework for how we operate as a city government. A key purpose of the charter is to provide us with home rule, as it's called. One example of home rule is that the City of Hamilton has nonpartisan elections, meaning that each of you are elected unaffiliated with a political party. If we did not have home rule or the ability to self-govern outside of state legislative oversight, we would have the state default, which is partisan elections, for example. The state of Ohio has over 300 chartered municipalities of the approximately 900 in the state, and our charter will turn 100 years old next year. So I think we should do something really special for that next year. But it's a really great document, but does require some occasional updates, and that's what we're going to talk about. The Charter Review Commission is a group of resident volunteers who apply to be a part of this commission to use City Council, who then appoint them to review and consider revisions to the City of Hamilton Charter on a 5-year basis. Sometimes that Charter Review Commission comes back and says, everything looks good, there are no updates necessary, as they did 5 years ago, but occasionally they do come up with some updates. So this particular commission unanimously recommended that City Council send these revisions to Article 10 of our charter to the ballot. I do want to recognize those hardworking individuals who spent a lot of time in this room reviewing this, so I'm just going to name those folks for the record. Dave Davidson, Chair, George Bowman, Gina Brown, Vicki Cross, Jeff Gambrell, Rose Hurley, Tommy John, Alexandria Johnson, Jeremy Lehman, Dwayne Moore, Bethany Spaeth, Maria Streimer, and Robert Richter. Mr. City Clerk, did I miss any? All right, good. This is kind of a new slide from the last time that I presented, but I wanted to provide some additional context as to what has prompted these changes. So the City of Hamilton's approach to what is called civil service and personnel has evolved over the past 100 years, and even more so in the last decade. For much of the last century, we had a civil service and personnel department that worked at the pleasure of a volunteer civil service commission, again, we'll talk about later, that performed largely administrative tasks such as administering exams, dealing with employment eligibility lists, and record keeping. As of 2016, this was the city's first human resources department. So human resources went really and evolved from those largely kind of administrative tasks into becoming a true strategic partner within the city on things like recruiting, training, benefits, wellness, performance management, and more. So what is issue 2? I will do you the favor of not reading all of this, but this is just for more illustrative purposes that the reason why I'm here and going out to a bunch of neighborhood groups is to try to provide some clarity and some context to what folks are going to face when they step to the ballot next month. So if you take that language and break out each of those comma-separated items, there are 7 items within there. But for brevity's sake this evening, and there's a website that has a lot more detail that I'm going to provide tonight that I'll share at the end, but for brevity's sake, we're going to break those 7 down into 4 broader buckets that I want to touch on. That is modernizing the HR department, clarity and consistency, the classified status of the HR director, and the structure of the Civil Service Commission. So first, modernizing the HR department. As I said earlier, as of 2016, the city really embarked on this truly robust and modern HR function as an organization, as we should for an organization with over 600 full-time employees. And this really sort of recognizes within the charter that the HR department is the central hub for all of those employee-related matters. Second is clarity and consistency. This is just a lot of review. Our HR director and city staff reviewed to look for ways in which to bring this in line with our current organizational structure. So one example up there is we no longer use the title secretary, though that title is referenced within the charter. It's just a lot of cleanup. Third is the classified status of the Human Resources Director. As I said, in the past, the Civil Service and Personnel Director worked in a largely administrative capacity and at the will of the Civil Service Commission. This moves the HR Director and their classified status in line with every other director in the city and align with the way that cities, both large and small, throughout the region approach this. Finally, the Civil Service Commission structure. There are 3 members appointed to the Civil Service Commission. 2 of them, according to the charter, are appointed by you, City Council. The 3rd, according to the charter, are appointed by the Board of Education. The reason why the Board of Education had an appointee is because for a long time, the Board of Education used our Civil Service Commission as a part of their employee-related matters. They haven't done so in at least a decade or 2, as far as we can tell. And if they do not make that appointment falls to you on City Council. So in practice, because they no longer use the Civil Service Commission, you on City Council have been making these 3 appointments. This just kind of formalizes that within the charter. The other big change to this is that, as I mentioned earlier, City of Hamilton has a largely non-political city charter or constitution. There is one element within the charter that still has a reference to political parties, and that is the appointment of civil service commissioners. So we are recommending that in line with the rest of the non-political nature of the charter that we make this change that used to require that there was political party validation as a part of that appointment process. Will the Civil Service Commission still have independent oversight? The answer to that is absolutely yes. They retain all of their critical role in maintaining fairness and merit-based employment practices. So these changes really relate more to their appointment process, not its fundamental authority. One question that we've had as we've started talking about this, folks who are reliable voters in local elections We'll know that typically issues on the ballot relate to tax levies and the like. I want to be clear that this has nothing to do with a current or proposed tax levy, tax impact of any kind. It's really just to clean up a lot of this language that we've talked about within our city charter. When will this be on the ballot? That is November the 4th. I hope that everyone in the room is registered to vote who are of a certain age. And finally, where can I find more information? That would be at the city's website, hamilton-oh.gov/Article 10, Article 10. There are some handouts, kind of front and back fact sheet out here on the table just outside City Council chambers, but that fact sheet and more are available on this website, including all of the language of Article 10 and the ballot language. Any questions?
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Please.
First, Brandon, you did a great job
Thank you.
boiling it down to simple ways for us to understand it. And I don't know if this is directed to Steve or to someone in the city, but is it possible to just cut out this chunk of the presentation and put that on Facebook and get it circulated? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Brandon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Elvis has just left. Good presentation.
That was
Next.
Next up will be a verbal report regarding the Senior Services Levy Overview for the Butler County Elderly Services Program by Miss Jenny Federle of the Council of Aging of Southwestern Ohio.
Good evening, Council. I just want to say thank you to the Hamilton City Council for allowing me to speak on behalf of the Council on Aging this evening. Like he said, my name is Jenny Federle, and I'm a program coordinator at the Council on Aging. I have been with the agency for 4 years. I grew up in Hamilton. I'm a graduate of Hamilton High School, class of 2009, and a graduate of Miami University. I'm also raising my family here in Butler County in the Hamilton City School District. I am here this evening to speak to you regarding an important levy on the ballot in November, the Butler County Senior Services Levy. The Butler County Senior Services Levy is a vital resource for thousands of older adults and caregivers in our county. The levy funds the Elderly Services Program, also known as ESP, which has helped over 4,000 older adults in 2024 and 2025 to live safely and independent in their homes where they feel the most comfortable and in control. Over 1,100 of those clients served under ESP are here within the city of Hamilton. The levy hasn't received an increase in over 20 years, even though our senior population has grown dramatically in that time. In the last 20 years, the number of people over the age of 60 has increased over 79%. Over 52% of those individuals are in their 80s and beyond, and they deserve the dignity of aging in their home and not a facility. For clients who are unable to receive services in the community, the majority of them default to Medicaid to live in a facility. Medicaid nursing home costs daily cost taxpayers over $8,000 a month per resident. The cost of the services in the community under the Elderly Services Program cost taxpayers on average $425 per month. Without the Elderly Services Program services, there will be a substantial increase in Medicaid applications and clients receiving Medicaid. This will cause a substantial increase in taxpayers' income tax in the next 10 years. Families are doing their best in this economy, juggling work, kids, caregiving, but they can't do it alone, and that's why this program is a lifeline for many families. Yet, because of rising demand over the past 5 years, hundreds of older adults have had to be turned away. Since February 2024, we have had to limit the number of people who can enroll in our program, focusing on cancer patients, clients on dialysis, older adults with dementia, and clients who are receiving services through Adult Protective Services. Even with inflation up 62%, the program has kept costs incredibly low, just an 18% in costs over the last 20 years. The services are competitively bid to ensure that we get the highest quality service for the lowest possible cost, and Council on Aging has worked to innovate services to best meet the needs of the community. But again, due to this increase in the population of older adults and inflation, we are asking for an increase along with the renewal of this levy. The proposed levy will generate $20.2 million annually and represent a tax increase of around $24.50 per $100,000 of home value. It equates to around 2% of the annual property tax bill for most taxpayers in the county. This is an issue that impacts every single voter. We are all aging and have family members that are aging. Many of us will need these critical services at some point in our lifetime, and without the renewal of this levy, those services will cease to exist. Unfortunately, there are no other funding resources to support this program in the county. If the levy does not pass, over 4,000 residents and their families will lose these crucial services. Another comment I forgot to put in here is that the most common services are home-delivered meals, home care assistance, medical transportation, non-medical transportation, and we also have adult day service as well. Supporting this levy means standing by our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, and our community when they need us the most. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Mayor.
Please.
Jenny, can you give the website or whatever where people can go to look for these facts that you're giving us right now?
Yes, our website is www.helpforseniors.org, and I can provide that information to the city clerk.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for giving us some education about that. Let's go to audience of citizens. Individuals wishing to make comments may speak during this part of the agenda or wait to speak until that item is up for the vote on the council floor. All individuals who intend to speak, audience of citizens, are required to sign this blue public speaking book. Each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes. And it looks like we have got 8 people who signed the book. 6 wanted to speak about the data center, 2 non-data center issues. So we're going to get the non-data center issues first, then in order of those who signed the book. Greg Irwin, please come up to the podium and give us your name and your address, please.
My name is Greg Irwin, 451 Emerson Avenue, Highland Park, Hamilton, Ohio. Okay. Thank you, council members, for the opportunity to speak tonight about the short-term rental situation in Highland Park. Here's a short-term summary of what has happened so far and why we request your timely action. In 2020, new short-term rental regulations opened the door for rentals in Highland Park, Hamilton's first planned residential historic neighborhood, 1919. Our homes are close together. They're family-style houses, not investment properties. Because Highland Park is so close to Spooky Nook, the area has become attractive to investors seeking to profit from short-term rentals over the long term. That also means the loss of neighbors and the gradual erosion of our community's character. So far, the situation hasn't worsened much, likely because local investors know that the vast majority of Highland Park residents strongly oppose the short-term rentals. The real concern is outside investment groups that could buy multiple houses for short-term rentals without any real stake in the community, unlike true neighbors who live here. Over the past 2 years, 442 residents representing 342 homes have signed a petition to protect Highland Park by limiting short-term rentals. April 18, 2024, the Planning Commission voted 4-1 of a short-term rental ban for Highland Park. On June 22, 2024, City Council voted 4-3 against the amendment. The problem? The ordinance combined 3 unrelated issues: general short-term rental updates, Hickory Woods, and Highland Park's short-term rental proposals. One council member commented, "I think combining them is kind of the downfall to this. In my opinion, it probably still needs to be separated and done quickly so they don't have to wait a year." He then asked the Director of Planning if Hickory Woods and Highland Park proposals could be separated and brought back quickly. She confirmed they could, possibly by the next council meeting. Yet despite that discussion, only the general short-term rental update returned to council on September 25th, 2024, were passed again, but leaving Highland Park's proposal out. At the same meeting, Councilman Michael Ryan made a motion for Highland Park to allow owner-occupied short-term rentals only. That's what we're asking for tonight, for the city to act on his motion and bring this amendment forward for a vote. Why it's fair and practical? An owner-occupied rule is fair. It allows residents to rent their homes part-time, but it prevents absentee investors from buying up houses and replacing families with tourists. It keeps Highland Park a living neighborhood, not a hotel zone. For part-time residents such as snowbirds, a simple snowbird exemption permit could easily address any residency concerns. Last month, the city manager told the Journal News that Hamilton faces a shortage of thousands of homes at all price points. The proposal seems to align with the city's Build Back the Block initiative, preserving family homes and keeping neighborhoods residential, not commercial. Across America, cities are taking similar steps, either banning short-term rentals outright or limiting them to owner-occupied homes. Locally, Westchester Township has just banned short-term rentals in single-family homes as of April 14, 2025. Now, you know Westchester Township, it's about 35 square miles. The city of Hamilton's about 22 square miles. Highland Park covers just a quarter square mile. We're asking for protection of a very small part of the city, but one with enormous historical and community value. Hamilton short-term rental regulations, specifically Chapter 75808J, require that a short-term rental not negatively impact the residential character of the neighborhood. That is the very foundation of this petition, because short-term rentals do negatively impact the character and stability of Highland Park. We respectfully ask council to authorize a review and bring forward an owner-occupied short-term rental ordinance specific to Highland Park during this current council term. Let's act now before new investment pressures make it too late to preserve the family character of Highland Park. Thank you for your time and for considering this urgent and reasonable request. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Irwin. Thank you for addressing your concerns. You presented some kind of an alternative to the original legislation, and then we'll think about it up here. Okay? Second, we have Jim Loneman. Mr. Loneman, come on up to the podium. Give us your name, your address.
Jim Loneman at 544 Franklin Street, Hamilton, 45013. Yeah, okay, I was like to say something about, I was talking to the chief of police, Trent, real nice guy. And he liked my ideas about these other people, well, he said parking people like, saw people parking illegally too around Hamilton. He's sticking a lot of them. I'm saying, I think he should retake the first time. Give him a chance, just give him a harsh warning on it, and if you do it again, then ticket him for sure. That'd be the best way. Because I'm for the people, and for the people, and for the city too.
Anything else you want to address this evening? Anything else you want to address or mention to us this evening? Okay. Well, you're talking to other people about your concerns, and that's a good thing. Just get people start talking about it. And thank you for bringing it to our attention again, and you are talking to others in the community. So that's
thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Have a good night.
You too. Next, we have Katie Savage. Come up to the podium, give us your name and your address.
My name is Katie Savage. My address is 1030 Foster Avenue. I live in Lindenwold. I'm up here because on Facebook, like at least once a week, people are complaining about having bleach spots in their laundry, and the water smells like chlorine or bleach, and people are concerned, I guess, that they're drinking bleach if they're making things at home. And wondering what has changed recently and why this keeps happening.
You were going to talk about the data center as well?
Yes, but
Okay,
that
why don't
was
you
a
talk about
separate
both
topic.
things first, and then we'll proceed from there. What is your issue about the data center?
I was still asking about the water, though. Did anybody know what's changed recently? Because people keep bringing it
Okay.
up, and I don't know anything about it.
So you're not here to comment about the data center, but about the bleach of whatever.
No,
you
I
think.
wanted to address the water first.
Well, let's address both things during your speaking.
Okay.
Okay? So go ahead and tell us what you think about the data center issue while you're up there.
Since the last time I was here, I was researching more about data centers, and since we're going to be getting a new data center soon, possibly, what that would affect our city, and the more and more I read about it, the more scary it gets. People talking about constant humming, and then in the winter times when it gets cold, the generators are just like a weird like and people think that's silly and they don't probably care. But if you live there, you're gonna care. But if you don't live there, maybe you're not gonna care because it's not gonna affect you directly. And I'm just wondering what you guys are doing with the data center now, if that's still a thing or if you decided against it since the last conversation.
After you get done speaking, I'm going to the city manager, if you would, address everybody here on that issue. But as far as bleach in the water, is that something which you have? I mean, I'm not aware of anything on Facebook about that. Mr. City Manager, is there anything that you know about? Any complaints about the water or anything?
So we don't use liquid chlorine. We use a gas. It's called chlorine dioxide, and we've used that since 1977. So there's been no change to primary or secondary disinfection of our water.
Okay, so if there's no changes recently and people are complaining that this is something new to them, like within the last couple of weeks, like it's getting worse, is there anything maybe we could test the water? Maybe the city could come out and check different areas and pinpoint the actual issue?
Has this happened with you, to you at your home?
So I live on Foster, but I live at the end of Foster. I haven't had any issues, but I guess I have different water sources than somebody else on Foster. I don't know why I would, but different areas of the city are having more complaints about it, so.
Yeah, I would suggest that anyone that's having an issue to contact us directly.
Who would you want them to contact to figure that out?
So I can get you a number and a contact information here. Mr. Edwin Porter, our Executive Director of Infrastructure, is here, and I'll defer to him on the best way for folks to contact us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And can you get her number or information that because I don't have her email address or any phone number up here at all. Maybe you can give that to her, and then Edwin can contact her. Now that we've started to approach the data center issue, Mr. City Manager, do you want to make some kind of a statement before we go down the entire list of people at this point in time?
Certainly. So we have a frequently asked questions page that we are continuously updating and appending. And so any comments or questions or information here tonight, what we're happy to do is take all that information down here tonight and not respond and here on the spot, but to research that information and add those questions and the answers to those questions as best we can answer right now to our frequently asked questions pages.
Because there is no vote tonight. Data center is not on the agenda tonight. This is a time to basically create a list of questions in order to address the concerns that are within those questions, as well as to listen to each other. So just so you're aware of that as far as tonight. So let's proceed with the audience of citizens. Raquel Fantoni, you are next. Again, if you give us your name and your address so we can have this for the council records.
All right. Hello, I'm Raquel Fantoni. I'm at 741 Sanders Drive here in Hamilton. I'll be brief this evening. First, I want to say I saw the updated frequently asked question sheet. I really feel like there's a lot more detail and a lot more concrete steps this time, and I really appreciate that. I know I shared the last time I spoke that previous updates had increased my concerns. This one did not increase my concern, but there's still just a few things I wanted to mention. First, I found it reassuring that it seems like the city's taking it really seriously, especially with mention of additional studies. I know previously people had just mentioned the power study, and now there's talk about one for noise pollution, how much water is going to be used, and for the environment, which I did find reassuring. But I think one of my primary concerns is just with how little trust I have in the data centers and the developers, to be honest, and to have our best interests at heart. When I've spoken with people who've been involved with data centers in other cities, I realize it's not the same developer, but there's been a lot of people saying the developers were not fully honest, they were not fully transparent, they said one thing and we can't hold them accountable, there isn't a proper mechanism for anyone to do that, especially with how much money they invest. So I suppose I just wanted to say that even with all of these studies that we're doing, I'm worried that we're going to end up choosing between the lesser of two evils about, well, okay, do we have a data center set up this way, or do we have it set up with this new technology where it's still not great for the water, but it's an improvement on the other one. And looking at all of the other communities in Georgia and Ohio and Virginia that have had these data centers, I just don't think that there's any way for them to not be a negative impact on the city. And I'm worried that the longer that this proposal is developed, that the more capital that they invest here, the harder it is going to be to say no to the developers, because the more money that I know they're paying their way for these studies, the more that they pay, the harder it's going to be to have them go away if we don't like what's found. And until I can hear from another town or city that says, yes, we have found a way to mitigate all of this and it's not having a negative impact. We really did do these studies and there really were ways to make sure there wasn't harm. I just feel like the studies are kind of kicking it down the road, that we know it's going to have a negative impact now. We'll do the studies. Maybe it'll be 10% better, but it's still going to be a negative impact. And I guess to close, I was going to share that I'm unexpectedly moving out of Hamilton, so you won't likely see me here in future meetings. But know that I don't want to abandon this, that I'm still going to be trying to help people in the online groups with staying organized and informed. And thank you all for listening to me so far and for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Mackenzie Long. Give us your name and your address, please.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Long. I live over on Heaton Street, 1153. I really just wanted to come up here to ask, I was at the last city council meeting and you all were asked if we would be given the opportunity to vote if you all decide to go through with this, and there was never a clear answer given.
Do you have any other questions or things you want to say at this point in time? Besides that.
I guess I used to work for a man who owned data centers. I was a personal driver and personal assistant. I know a big plus to this that we were looking at was jobs, but every single time I was ever in a data center, there were never more than 7 people in there. 7 to 20 is the number I think is normal for these data centers of permanent jobs. A lot of them are like remote work or something else. It doesn't seem like it will benefit us in any way, really.
This will be, I feel sure, a issue which is going to be discussed at future meetings. I mean, I'll definitely tell you that. I mean, just by the community interest, community concern. I'll just tell you that much. Like I said, we're here just trying to listen to everybody tonight. Stay tuned for an update on the facts about data centers, and then we'll all share that information. Okay?
But will the
Mr. Mayor.
citizens of Hamilton be
Please.
given the opportunity to vote?
I think she's asking if there will be a ballot issue.
No, if you're looking for a ballot issue, no. If you're looking for a council vote about something in this at a later date, there's obviously a possibility of that, probably probability of that. But as far as on a ballot, no, this is not a ballot issue. If that's what your real question is, a ballot issue.
I guess not. I was just wondering if the citizens of Hamilton would be given the opportunity to vote on the issue.
It will not be on any kind of ballot that I'm aware of, but there could be a vote of council involving some terms in dealing with them. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I apologize for my miscommunication, misunderstanding of that. Natalie is up next. Will you give us your full name and address, please?
Hi, I am Natalie Poirier at 1153 Heaton Street. I don't have anything prepared, just here to say that I feel like with everyone who has spoken today and at the last meeting about this, there have been a lot of facts, research, concerns that are real concerns that have been seen all over the country where the data centers have been, where there is noise pollution, light pollution, water pollution, raising bills, and people talking about disturbances that keep them up at night with vibration of their walls, with like the light, the sounds, all of it, you know. And so I guess what I'm coming up here is just to be another voice to let you guys know like how much we care, because there are people here who have shown up because they care. There are people who care who could not show up tonight. And I think that there are people coming here to tell you this now, so then whenever you go through with it, because there's gonna be a lot more upset people whenever it actually happens, you know, and that's something that I think could be very avoidable. I believe that you guys want to do what's best for Hamilton, and I hope that you do what's best for Hamilton and the people, and, you know, given the position that you're in, since considering, I guess, we won't be able to vote personally, I hope you do take the responsibility that you have, like, where you're at and the seats that you're at right now, that you actually will hear out everybody on their concerns about it, because, you know, we're showing up right now just to try to have that conversation, but, like, we're trusting you to do what's best for us, like, in our water, in our community, because I think that the data center is just something that's very clearly going to be like a disruptance in the community, and I hope that we don't go that way.
Well, we all care about Hamilton in this room. There's no doubt about that. We all care about the issue in this room. So we are presenting various facts through our social media. There's a lot to think about. I know you folks are all reading articles, and we're all reading articles and educating ourselves as you educate yourselves. But obviously there's going to be more meetings and more information put out there about this, the engineering of this particular center, and other facts. So keep coming to council if you want to. We're all going to continue to learn together, and but we're a little ways away from getting down to what I would call the real nitty-gritty of this.
Okay.
We need to continue to educate each other.
All right.
All right?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Brad Davis. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, council. Happy to be back. Happy to be here. Brought my computer because we're gonna have a little video that I'm gonna play. It's only 20 seconds, but it's good audio.
Well,
Did
tell
we
you what,
get an
hold on a
address?
second. Hold on one second. We have got a procedure when it comes to putting up.
Oh yeah, no, there's nothing up there. I won't put anything up there.
Well, why don't you just go ahead, if you want to summarize what that is, instead of us putting up things that we.
No, we can just play it. You'll be able to hear it from here.
Well, you kind of put us in a situation where we have got a particular policy when it comes to people who bring things.
I know, it's interesting. I'll follow the policy. I
Please
can do
follow the
that.
policy, but if you want to maybe share with us what might.
Yeah, I'll sum it.
Share with
I'll
us
give it a
the
summation.
argument or whatever, but we're
Yeah.
not going to be able to allow things just to be put up there, okay?
Yeah, so it's interesting too, because like a lot of these things, like you got to come up here and dox yourself. Like I live at this address, but 381 Wildwood Court.
Thank you.
But there you go. So yeah, Brad Davis, tech founder, work in tech, know about AI. I know the input and output of data centers. First off, can we get a show of hands from council on who right now is leaning on, planning on not voting for the data center?
You're not going to get that at this point in time.
Okay,
I told you-
let the record show no
I told you
hands.
early on that this was a situation where there's no vote at all.
I know, but
There's no
hey,
agenda item, so it's a time when if you want to share something, please use your time to share things with us.
I
Without asking
am.
us
I am.
Do things like that.
I'm just curious, because part of knowing your audience is knowing how you're going to present the facts. It's kind of like a choose your journey book.
Right.
So, all right, so no one felt like raising their hand. So November 4th is elections. It's great. We don't have any idea about how you're planning or looking at this. We're just gathering facts, just asking questions here. It's great. But November 4th, after the elections are over, I'm sure that we'll have some stronger opinions. The knowledge in data centers might not be strong, but the Politico strats are A+. So the big thing is skyrocketing prices. The video that I was going to show you is, here is, council, and I made it real big so you can see. This is CPI, which stands for Consumer Price Index of electricity. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics own data. You see that that's called hockey sticking. That's called electricity prices have been steadily rising. Okay, so that maybe we can add that to the FAQ. The fact that they're going to be rising. Second off, I mean, all of these articles, Goldman Sachs talking about the power, the amount that's needed. New York Times put an article out yesterday, Mr. Mayor. It said Amazon's looking at automating away with AI and robots 600,000 jobs. Now, does it make sense to have an urban center, data center, where, yes, the environmental pollution, all of that stuff, all the real things, but you want to have the thing that's going to put the community, when everyone's lost their job, and when the average working class person's electricity prices have doubled, you want that on your record. I don't think anyone does. Not you specifically, Mr. Mayor, but council. So the summation of the video I was going to show you, this is the podcast. It's called the All In Podcast. That's David Sachs. He's the chief AI czar of the United States. And he says it is, quote, a legitimate concern that electricity prices will skyrocket. But yet here we have on our website of the city of Hamilton, quote, this project represents new revenue. It's always about that, isn't it? New jobs and long-term stability without added cost to residents. Oh, got a crystal ball. So I'm gonna get my closing argument because we had a, first 30 seconds. I'm here to fight for working class people. I could personally afford to live in my house if my electricity price is 2x, but a lot of my friends can't. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm posing the data center, because this is basically an IQ test for city council. Allowing a 200 megawatt data center, which is the equivalent of 19 1,000 room hotels to be built right here in Hamilton, and then have the audacity to say it's not going to add costs. It's a basic IQ test. Supply is fixed by this city's own report. We cannot increase the supply of electricity. So we either have to have different tariffs or the prices are going to skyrocket. And that's what we've seen. Building a data center is not one of the fifth law of thermodynamics. Indianapolis voted theirs down. Wisconsin voted theirs down. You can vote yours down, because if you don't, working class people are going to be hurt. And then I'll have to run for city council because I'll have to do something about it, because we can't sell out to working class people, because we now get additional revenue and then that cost gets passed on anyways to all the residents through business. Businesses don't eat those costs. You all know that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the time. I don't want to have to come back here. If you want to email me, contact.braddavis. You tell me how you want to vote. If you say no, I don't have to come back. But if not, I'm coming back again. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Brad. Terry Cunningham. Here, Terry Cunningham. Good evening, Terry.
Hello.
Name and address, if you would, please.
Terry Cunningham, 2236 Freeman Avenue.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing us to speak here. A two-story data center of this size using up to 240 megawatts is considered a large hypercenter compared to our current 2 megawatt center. For comparison, my home uses 0.5 megawatts for the entire month. Data centers get a lower electricity rate than citizens, and we pay the difference. The 29 acres has been described as unusable, but it is being used, housing wildlife and cleaning our air, woods that have been there for 100 years. If this center is approved, they typically grow in clusters. The 44 acres of woods across the street would also be available for them to expand. Woods that would soak up some of the noise generated by the first data center would be gone. All these facilities use diesel generators that are ran every 15 minutes. The noise has been compared to a train. There is also a constant 24-hour-a-day noise. Ms. Branifer commented that the sound was unlike anything I've ever heard. A constant, deep, vibrating hum that gives me the worst anxiety and unease. You can feel it in your chest. It is both loud and muffled at the same time. I am vehemently against putting these anywhere near populated areas. They need to be a minimum mile from the nearest residential neighborhood. Imagine university students trying to study next door to this noise and vibration. Large amounts of our drinking water are used. If a closed-loop system is used, less water is needed, but much more electricity, and it causes increased noise. If an evaporative system is used, it uses much more water, but less electricity. Amazon, a proposed tenant of Logitech's, releases an annual sustainability report, but those documents do not disclose how much water the company uses. Cities are asked to sign NDAs and confidentiality agreements. Company states that this is for security reasons. We will not know how much of our water is being used. Data centers receive tax abatement and sales tax exemptions and can be awarded a personal tax exemption on equipment. So the tax revenue amount specified is often not seen by the community. You have stated there would be an independent study. Will Logitech know who is conducting the study? Will the public have access to the study after it's completed? This will impact our community substantially. Why will we not have a chance to vote on this issue? There is a petition being circulated against this data center. How many signatures would it take to stop this project now? You have stated that this is in the early stages, but the zoning has been approved. Are you not concerned about the 44 homes that will have this center in their backyard? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. That takes care of our audience of citizens. Thank you for bringing your concerns to the podium. I know that people have taken notes, and that facts will probably be updated with some new information or information that might be a little bit more detailed. Okay? Thank you very much. We now go to the consent agenda. That has matters such as all staff reports, caucus reports, and meeting minutes. We're going to go to the committee of the whole first, which is the point where city council can ask questions, provide direction, or comment on reports. reports on those issues presented by our city professionals. I'll accept the motion that the regular meeting be recessed, the committee of the whole take place.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried. At 6:52, we go into the caucus agenda at this time.
So leading on with our presentations for the caucus agenda, we'll go a little out of order with agenda items 1 and 3 being presented by our Director of Engineering, Mr. Alan Messer.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. The first item up here is the purchase of property for the Bell Avenue extension. If you remember this project, we talked about it earlier. This is kind of more a close-up view. We're extending Bell Avenue and doing a number of other improvements along Dixie Highway, including adding some signals at Fox and Bell Avenue. We're reconfiguring the whole thing essentially to make it less confusing. And as part of that, we need to purchase property from the car lot that is directly in front of Bell Avenue. And this is a request to do just that. Are there any questions on this?
Any questions? Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. So this is a joint funding agreement with the city of Fairfield. The city of Fairfield came to us and they wanted to pave Sims Road as part of their annual paving program. They do have funding partially from OPWC, and rather than stopping at the city line, they asked, would we be interested in doing a joint agreement with them? They'll extend it through Hamilton. Our total portion for the Hamilton section would be $107,000, of which $19,000 would be paid for by OPWC. We've done similar projects to this in the past, sometimes where Hamilton's lead, sometimes where Fairfield is the lead. Are there any questions on this project?
Any questions, Mr. Mayor? Councilmember Ryan? Ma'am, we don't usually have questions from the audience when it comes to this particular part of the agenda.
But if anyone has a question, it's Alan Messer, and the city engineer. You could
Do you have anything else to present tonight, Alan?
email me, I'd be happy to answer.
Do you have anything else to present tonight?
This is it.
Can you talk to the young lady in the back if she wants to talk to you about this particular issue? But not during a council meeting, but he could probably go outside and talk to you outside of the room and answer questions that you may have about that. That's okay, ma'am? Well, if it's a comment, well, I'd ask you to address that with Mr. Messer, because we do have other caucus agenda items at this time. So if he's here and available and you want to make a comment to somebody who's really dealing with this on behalf of the city, he'd be the person to talk to. It'll be right now, but not in the meeting, but outside, when will you go outside and talk with her if she wants to talk to you right now?
Sure.
Thank you, Alan. Let's take care
Thank
of
you.
your caucus agenda items.
Those two items, yes.
Okay.
We can now proceed to the remaining items.
Thank
Next
you.
up, for item number 2, will be a presentation by our Finance Director, Mr. Dave Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. We're here about a refinancing of a bond anticipation note issued through the Ohio Market Access Program, OMAP. We have issued this note since December of 2022. We've rolled or refinanced this thing. This will be the third time. Council previously approved this in December of 24, and we're refinancing $52,250,000. And you can see the bullet points and the funds that are repaying that debt. Of that, we are asking for $4 million of new money, up to $56,250,000. $2 million for the 2026 street resurfacing program. It's for driveway aprons and concrete sidewalk blocks. That'll be repaid through tax assessments to homeowners. They are responsible for that part of the resurfacing project. And then I know the written caucus report in your agenda says 54,250. We've recently added the water borrowing at the Hamilton Enterprise Park of $2 million. So the grand total, not to exceed $56,250,000, will be presented to you in November. There'll be a total of 4 ordinances that come to you. There'll be one ordinance for the refinancing or the roll, 2 ordinances for the new money, and then the final ordinance will combine those into one. And then just a little bit about it. We're proposing a tax exempt yield in the low 3% range. We've got great rates out of this for many years. Currently, we're earning over 4% at Star Ohio, so you can look at this almost as tax-free, no interest on it money. We don't get to keep the difference in the spread. We do have to refund that to the IRS, but you know, it is interest-free. The OMAP program is through the State Treasurer's Office. It's a credit enhancement program available to any municipality or county in the state, and it reduces rates for everybody. And then finally, hopefully rates tick down a little bit. When we first did this, the Fed funds rate was about 4.5% in 2022, stood at about 4.25% last month. So if rates keep ticking down, maybe we can go to permanent financing on some of the things that we've completed. But right now, this seems to be our best option. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you for your research and looking at the numbers on this.
Yep, thank you.
And leading up to items 4 and 5, we'll have a presentation by our Director of Planning, Ms. Lauren Nelson.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. I just have a few additional right-of-way vacations, similar to our last council meeting. First up is a recommendation to vacate a public right-of-way that's approximately 110 feet by 12 feet that exists between 53 and 57 Van Buren. I'm just going to show you the picture here of this. So this is an existing sidewalk that formerly was access to the old Van Buren Elementary School site. So the property owner at 53 Van Buren has reached out to several city departments and internally, both planning, city manager's office, and engineering all support the recommendation for this being vacated. And so it would allow the property owners on both sides to, you know, take half of this right-of-way for this sidewalk that's not serving the purpose that it was put there for. This did go to Planning Commission for review, and they are recommending approval. And here's one last picture that's showing you right behind the light, the pole, is the sidewalk that runs between the houses. And then the other one is related to vacating 3 areas of right-of-way in proximity to the Spooky Nook property. So all of these are just cleanup to vacate right-of-way, that comes to you occasionally, that needs to be cleaned up. So the first area here is what is the drop-off lane in front of the riverfront side of the property. And so that is public right-of-way, which would be vacated to appropriately, you know, put the property lines of the existing property in the right place. The second right-of-way is this very small little corner there. This is right at the corner of the parking lot in front of the sports complex with the river there to the right. And then the last one here is along this far border, the north side of the property. It's the western border of the north parking lot there along the sports complex. So vacating this right-of-way is just clean up to appropriately have the property lines match the existing as the property currently exists. Are there any questions about either of these caucus items?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks.
Then lastly, for item number 6, this was a report that came from council regarding the city manager's employment agreement, Mr. Mayor.
Right, I think the committee reviewed, created the document. So is that correct, Mr. Knapp?
That's correct.
Comments you wish to make on that at this point in time?
The city manager's contract calls for review every year. And we are at that time of the year where the performance evaluation has been completed, and we would move then into the new contract with our city manager that would take effect in December of 2025. So that's why it's on caucus tonight. It'll come before us for a vote then in November for December movement.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And that concludes our presentations, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll set the motion that the committee of the whole be closed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Fear, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:03. I'll set the motion that the regular meeting be reconvened.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nab, seconded by Councilmember Vaughn. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Motion adopted at 7:03, and I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that with the exception of the items so noted, council receive the reports of the consent agenda and concur in the recommendations.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Fear. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried, is passed at 7:03. Now go in the public hearing section of the agenda, and I'll accept the motion that the regular meeting be recessed and the following public hearing take place.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:04. Now go into the public hearing.
Agenda item number 7, a public hearing regarding accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $446,749.69 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Home Investment Partnership Grant Home Program Funds.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard at this public hearing involve the acceptance, appropriation, and budgeting for the home program funds? Anyone in the audience wish to be heard at this particular public hearing? And no one signed the public speaking book for that particular public hearing. Anyone on council wish to be heard or wish to make a motion at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, seconded by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:05. Next public hearing, please.
Agenda item number 8, a public hearing regarding accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $1,476,648 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Program Funds.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard at this public hearing involving the Community Development Block Grant Program Funds? Again, anyone in the audience wish to be heard? Public hearing involving the Community Development Block Grant Funds. Anyone on council wish to be heard? Wish to make a motion at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:06. And for the record, no one signed the public speaking book for this particular public hearing, agenda item number 8. Okay, now I'll go to council. I'll set the motion that the regular meeting be reconvened.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Fear, seconded by Councilmember Lauer. Roll call vote on that motion to reconvene the regular meeting.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
It's adopted at 7:06. Now go to council actions pertaining legislative items, and I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move that a note be made upon the minutes that each member of council was furnished a printed copy of each item of legislation prior to its being considered at our meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Lauer. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:07. We now go to pending legislation, agenda item number 9, second reading of an ordinance involving the rezoning of specific properties of Fort Hamilton Hospital.
An ordinance approving the rezoning of specific properties of Fort Hamilton Hospital to BPD Business Plan Development. Mick McComber, Kettering Health, Fort Hamilton Hospital applicant, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Now go to new legislation, agenda item number 10, two readings of emergency ordinance involving the Muni Gas and Natural Gas Supply Discount Program.
An emergency ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute a participant addendum number 4 and a supplier addendum with Municipal Gas Acquisition and Supply Corporation, Muni Gas, BP Energy Company, and Symmetry Energy Solutions LLC in connection with continued participation in the Muni Gas Natural Gas Supply Discount Program, first of 2 readings.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Thank you. Second reading of emergency ordinance.
An emergency ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute participant addendum number 4 and a supplier addendum with Municipal Gas Acquisition and Supply Corporation, Muni Gas, BP Energy Company, and Symmetry Energy Solutions LLC in connection with continued participation in the Muni Gas Natural Gas Supply Discount Program, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion on this emergency ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
We now go to agenda item number 11, two readings of an ordinance involving the appropriation, budgeting of home grant funds.
An ordinance accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $446,749.69 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Home Investment Partnership Program, Home Grant Funds, first of 2 readings.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read a second time by its title. Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of the ordinance, please.
An ordinance accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $446,749.69 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Home Investment Partnership Program, Home Grant Funds, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion the ordinance be adopted. Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. Any discussion or comments or questions about this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Move to agenda item number 12, which are two readings, an ordinance involving community development block grant funds.
An ordinance accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $1,476,648 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, program funds, first of 2 readings.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move that the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Lauer. Roll call vote, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Thank you. Second reading of that ordinance, please.
An ordinance accepting, appropriating, and budgeting up to $1,476,648 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 Community Development Block Grant CDBG program funds. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Lauer. Comments, questions on this one? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Thank you. We go to agenda item number 13, two readings of emergency ordinance involving vacating a portion of Williams Avenue.
An emergency ordinance vacating 358.44 foot length portion of Williams Avenue from Pleasant Avenue to the southeast corner of parcel number P6461000000029, situated in the 6th Ward, North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, first of two readings.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move that the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Nab. Did I hear Councilmember Ryan on that?
Yes.
Seconded by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of that emergency ordinance, please.
An emergency ordinance vacating a 358.44 foot length portion of Williams Avenue from Pleasant Avenue to the southeast corner of parcel number P6461000000029, situated in the 6th Ward, North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember
I
Nab.
move that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Nab. Second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion on this one? Okay, hearing none. Roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
We go to item number 14, first reading of an ordinance vacating some various streets in the city of Hamilton.
An ordinance vacating a portion of Fox Avenue, Skillman Avenue, Dixie Highway Alley, and Bell Avenue Alley, Tarana Hybrid, situated in the 6th Ward, North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, first reading.
Go to agenda item number 15, resolution involving the recommendation of the Tax Incentive Review Council.
A resolution accepting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council regarding continuation of the current tax increment financing agreements, enterprise zone agreements, and community reinvestment area agreements as heretofore granted by the City of Hamilton to various organizations doing business in the city.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the resolution be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Fear. Comments on this one? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 7-0.
We go to agenda item number 16, which is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of public health emergency preparedness grant monies.
A resolution ratifying and authorizing the acceptance of the Ohio Department of Health Bureau of Preparedness Health Grant titled Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant through a cooperative agreement with the Butler County General Health Department, and directing and authorizing the city manager to execute any documents necessary to receive said grant funds.
Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that the resolution be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Nab. Comments, questions? None. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 7-0.
Thank you. Agenda item number 17, resolution involving a government agreement involving road salt and the Hamilton City School District.
A resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement for the sale of road salt to the Hamilton City School District for the 2025 through 2026 winter season.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Lauer,
I'd like to make a motion that the resolution be adopted.
second. Motion by Councilmember Lauer, second by Councilmember Ryan. Comments or discussion on this one? Roll call vote?
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 7-0.
Go to agenda item number 18, which is a resolution involving the filing of a grant application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources relative to improvements to Jefferson Park.
A resolution authorizing and directing and supporting the filing of a grant application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, ODNR, Land and Water Conservation Fund program relative to improvements to Jefferson Park, including constructing a spray ground and ADA bathrooms, and authorizing and directing the city manager to comply with and execute any and all documents necessary to accept and receive said grant funds if awarded.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the resolution be adopted.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 7-0.
Audience to the city manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Couple items. One, regarding short-term rentals. The recommendation of city staff continues to be the council monitor and evaluate the status of short-term rentals. There's currently legislation pending in Columbus that impacts these rentals across the state, and we certainly want to wait and see what, if anything, comes of that. Additionally, in 2023, there were 79 short-term rentals across the city. That number, as of last month, was 112. We attribute a significant portion of that growth in short-term rentals to just enhanced registration. So utilizing the current regulations that we have here in the city to make sure that we're registering those units. To put that in perspective, I know Greg talked about Highland Park specifically, but in Highland Park, of the approximate 600 homes that are in Highland Park, there's one short-term rental currently. And then of the 27,000 housing units across the city, 112 of those being short-term rentals represents less than 0.5%. We have not had any major issues. We continue to monitor those short-term rentals that are currently registered, and again, we would just continue to stay that course until there's either legislation at state level or local issues that we need to address. On the data center, just something I want to note that I had the opportunity today to travel to Meldal and Greenup, our two hydroelectric dams on the Ohio River. The purpose of that trip was to inspect the facilities and visit with our city staff that are there. I want to commend the staff that are there, the dedication that they have, the professionalism, and the pride that they have in our facilities really shows through. You know, these plants that are hours outside of the city, these folks work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, converting the raw power of the Ohio River into renewable energy, and again, we appreciate that. The fact that we own and operate and are partners in fixed asset projects, which supplies 95% of the power to our community, is the reason why, if a data center project were to locate in the city, it would not increase the utility costs, electric utility costs to our residents. The power of the proposed project would be sourced outside of our power generation portfolio, meaning any power necessary for the proposed project would be purchased on the open market and the project would pay full cost of that. Additionally, in terms of the project itself, we've engaged a third-party consultant to conduct a system impact study, which will be followed by a facility study, and that's to determine the ability and impact of our electric utility to accommodate the proposed project. We expect the results of those studies back sometime within the next 90 days. Once we have those results back, we'll have more information to share. The information that we do have relative to data centers can be found on our website, and that's www.hamilton-oh.gov/news. The consultants that we have engaged with, those are respected consultants, they're experienced consultants, and they're folks that we have dealt with for decades who have advised us on what's in the best interest of Hamilton. So we trust their opinions. The cost of those studies are being reimbursed by the developer, so it's not coming at any cost to our city or to our utility at this time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Audience of City Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Lauer?
I'd like to recognize the teachers. Tonight, they're being honored at the Harry T. Wilkes Educator of Excellence from Baden High School, Adam Shuckman, Wilson Junior High, Dustin Williams, Laura Walton from Ridgeway, Rachel Snow from Linden, Randy Russell from Brookwood, Kathy Petrikoff from Bridgeport, Katie Maccabee, the Miami School, Tina Kirby, Highland, Lori Huff, wonderful lady, wonderful teacher, retiring soon from Hamilton High, Tim Herzog, the freshman campus, Aaron Dunton at Riverview, Amy Disler Mills at Crawford, Megan Klein at Fairwood, and Garfield's own Rachel Ahonen. So I appreciate, I've taught with many of these people and great educators. They do a lot for the city of Hamilton and our youth. Wonderful people.
Thank you for mentioning that scholarship tonight. That's tonight, right now.
Yes, sir.
Great. Anyone else on council? On November the 8th at noon, the Staff Sergeant Fred Brown flag and plaque dedication will take place at Bailey Square, and recognizes a man who sacrificed his life to save others. If you have an opportunity, visit the Joe Nuxhall Historical Marker at the Joe Nuxhall Ball Fields in Hamilton, recognizing a man of great character and definitely a son of the North End. Anything else at this point in time? Okay. Mr. City Manager, your request to go into executive session?
There is, Mr. Mayor, for the consideration of the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Great. Is there a motion that council go into executive session for that stated purpose given by the city manager?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Council Member Fear. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
We're going to go into executive session. It's 7:24. We'll come out of the meeting just to adjourn the regular meeting. That takes care of our public business. Thank you.